Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us today, our first initial orientation show. This first 30 minutes is dedicated to us talking through what orientation is, typically what might have happened on campus, and how we're transferring that into more of an online streaming video series. I've got Dr. Huber here and Mr. Garrels to help me with this a little bit. We all have a lot of experience with orientation and a lot of experience with Schreiner specifically in our orientation. I mean, really, we're here to answer questions that you might have while we present information to you. So to start off, welcome. This is officially the Schreiner University Orientation Series for the summer. And what our hope is and what orientation is every time that we have it is an opportunity for us to present with you guys information of the university, first and foremost. So today and the rest of the Monday, Wednesday sessions, we'll be presenting out different topics, different departments, and having those individuals come on and have that opportunity to reach out and to discuss their departments with everybody, as well as answer any questions that you guys might have. Now, listening to Dr. Huber, we do have, this is our first attempt, right? And we're going to be kind of learning ongoing as we continue with these. But we have set up a lot of different ways of communication with you. So this is one way here where you guys can jump on, interact with us through the Zoom, through Facebook Live. We also will have the videos up on the SU Monty Facebook page, so you can go back and reference the videos again. Or if you weren't able to join in the live show, you're going to be able to go there and have that opportunity to watch those shows again. There's a survey that we shared in an email. If you didn't get that, please let us know. We'll make sure that we get that to you. We'll be able to have another opportunity for you to ask questions as part of the survey. It's more for us to be able to keep attendance of who is showing up for the shows, who's not showing up for the shows, so we can make sure that we're reaching out to everybody so they can get that information. There's also an opportunity on that survey to continue to ask us questions. That's going to be really helpful in this process, so we can more directly align you with the people that you need to be in contact with if you do have a question about any departments on campus. While the three of us do have a lot of knowledge and a lot of information about what goes on campus, we want to make sure that you're able to speak with the directors of these different departments specifically and ask them questions. So we take out the middle person. We get to connect you immediately with them. That's an orientation piece that we usually get to have on campus, where you get to have that face-to-face with directors and faculty members and students that are currently attending Schreiner University. So we're going to be trying to attempt to do that through this means, through Zoom and Facebook Live. So orientation overall is a program of presenting information to you. So what we're going to be doing today, after we do just a little bit of an introduction, we're going to be inviting on Amanda Thomson to start us off talking about some of our academic support services that she helps with. She's going to be able to come on and talk with you about her program specifically and how that services the students. We're going to be doing that throughout the whole summer with all different departments. We know that you're probably going to have a lot of different questions come up about different things, and that's great. We want the questions. That's a big part of this. It's a big part of any orientation. Our main objective through our orientation program, as always, is to make sure that you're 100% ready to attend Schreiner University in August. So the more questions that you have, the more that we're able to answer, the better for everybody. So if you think of a question, there's no wrong question. There's probably a lot of other people out there with the same type of question. Go ahead and ask it. We will be also keeping track of different questions that we get through the surveys, and part of our introduction probably each week is going to be to address some of those questions live online as well. That's the main important piece of the orientation process for us moving forward the closer we get to August. The other piece is the interaction. We don't get to have as much interaction that we normally would with an orientation program. A face-to-face orientation program for us is something to be seen, right? And it's a shame that we can't provide that service for you guys because we really focus a lot on the social interaction. We're not going to lose that. Doing this allows a little bit of that face-to-face, so at least you know who's talking to you, you know who's on the other end of that email or that phone call, you kind of know what we look like, and hopefully this is a little bit of that introduction of us to you. The other piece is when you come back in August, there's already been some questions about our camp. We will be having a version of that camp. We understand that even in the current times, it's important to have that social interaction the best that we can, depending upon how we need to do that. So we're continuing to work on how to connect people and making sure that's happening. So we're starting with essentially our online orientation piece on our side and introducing our faculty and staff to you guys through this means of orientation. We'll have a lot of different experts that'll come through in different ways. If you want to look ahead on the schedule at any point, you'll see when certain things come up. That's not to say that if you have a question about something, you can't ask it. You can go ahead and ask any question you would like. But if you want to use that schedule kind of as your guide or virtual orientation of when things are going to happen and when they come up, even if you ask a question beforehand, weeks out, we can still look at that and be prepared for that and insert that into a conversation during that point when we have that orientation session as well. This is different for all of us. Usually at this point, I'd be like, hey, let's introduce the mentors. But we have a student staff that they might be joining us. We sent them an invite to at least be a part of the question piece. We have what we call Mountaineer mentors. So you might see some questions pop up from current students that help us during orientation. So in a on-campus orientation style, they would help lead the students and parents through orientation and then giving you the real kind of experience from a student's perspective, what I call a professional student, because currently their profession is being a student on our campus, and they're the professionals. So you don't get to meet them today. We might have a special meet and greet with them as part of this process as we continue to learn how to best interact with everybody and get everybody connected. But they are out there. They are there through the virtual world, helping to maybe ask some questions that maybe aren't being asked that they know typically should be asked in an attempt to help get everybody ready for the upcoming school year. They will be around in August when everybody gets to campus. So you will get to meet them. You will get to work with them as we move into the school year with everybody on campus. They are essential for us, an essential piece of our puzzle of making sure that everybody's ready at the start of the semester and even into the semester. They're called the Mountaineer mentors. So if you hear that mentioned throughout the orientation, they work with a lot of different people. They work with us. They work with a lot of the faculty members within the IDST classes and things you're going to be taking. So they're a vital piece to this puzzle that we are putting together for you guys to make sure that we're ready for you. Other pieces of orientation that come up or the administration piece to it, right? So we have opportunities to where you usually get to interact with our upper administration, our president, our vice presidents, and so forth. We'll be working on different ways to making sure that happens as well. Our main objective, like I said before, is to get you connected the best way we possibly can. I see some questions coming in. I should turn this off. It's distracting me. But and let David do his job. But just know all of these questions that you're asking, if for whatever reason we don't have the immediate answer for you, part of our job is to make sure that we have the question, we seek out the answer, and we get the answer to you. So we do ask for a little bit of leniency if we don't have the exact answer for you in this moment. There's a good chance that we do, but just in case that we don't want to tell you something just because maybe that's the way it was, or maybe that's the way we think it is. We want to make sure that we're getting the right information to you. And that might be that we share information of names with you. We say, well, let's say you have a question about work study or something like that that goes on campus. We can definitely provide you an answer, but it would be better if we could connect you with the specific person you'd be working with to help you find that work study specific answer that you might have for any position on campus and things like that. So, because I kind of saw some of the academic questions coming up. So we'll definitely be getting those answered for you guys as well. Dr. Huber, Dave Girls, anything else you want to add to our orientation experience?
No, I think just one of the things that you guys, as we go through these virtual orientations, as students, if you're a parent on here, hopefully that you're mostly students. But parents are welcome to these as well. But whoever's on here, make sure you keep an eye on the chat. We'll ask questions. We'll try to interact with you that way. And of course, if you're online, David's managing the Facebook. I'm watching the chat. We did have 2 questions, and I know that there's a lot of questions about classes and coursework. And one person, so I'm going to go backwards. And Larissa McHenry, she had asked, when do we actually start school? Well, technically, the first day of school is August 12th, but you'll notice that our schedule is going to be interesting this year, and that we won't have classes on Wednesdays. So we start on a Wednesday, and that means that on the very first day of classes, we don't have any classes. But we will have freshman convocation, which all freshmen will attend, and that's where we basically have a big ceremony to start the semester. Start the academic semester. We'll have a ceremony that starts the social semester, and we'll work out that details. And Dr. Goodwin was talking about that. So we start school the 12th. Freshman move-in will be on the 6th and 7th. So no Wednesday classes, Cole. The freshman move-in will be on the 6th and 7th, and you will move in according to your assigned hall. We haven't released those assignments because we're having to redo all hall assignments, because we want people to live in close proximity to those on their team first. So if you're a freshman basketball player, we're going to try to house you next to and around other freshman basketball players or soccer player, whatever, by sport. And then affiliation group is if you're in band or others. The one exception is honors. All of the honors students, regardless of affiliation, will live next to each other in the honors wing. And so that's sort of the breakdown on when school starts and how that starts. And to answer the question about schedules, you should receive an email from a faculty member later this week or next week, setting up a moment, setting up a meeting with you, and virtual, via phone call, however you want, between you and your faculty member, and they will get online and help you register for your classes. So each individual freshman will receive an individual phone call from their faculty advisor, who will help them, or a faculty advisor who will help them register for their classes. And so we're going to do that one-on-one registration process starting as early as this week. And so if you don't get an email right away, if you don't get an email by the end of next week, so if I tell you, if you don't get an email before June 26th, you need to let us know. And you can email, you can always email just dos@schreiner.edu. That comes to me, Dean of Students, and I'm going to put it in the chat box so you have it. If you haven't heard from your faculty advisor, let me know, and I'll reach out to our Dean of Faculty, and we'll circle back around and see why you haven't done that. But by the end of next week, you should be getting scheduling something with them. Other things, financial aid, you can always just call financial aid. But somebody had asked, I thought freshman move-in was August 17th. It was August 17th. but because of COVID-19, we've had to move everything up because our goal this year is to be over by the basically before Thanksgiving. So we want to end at Thanksgiving. And I'm sorry, I got off track answering questions because I was excited that people had questions. Orientation as an experience is an important part of this process. The goal for us is to always get all of your questions answered, but more than that is to answer the questions you didn't know you needed to have, which is why we have experts like Amanda Thomson coming in to talk about academic support and tutoring. And then, next we have different guests every week coming in to talk about the different things around campus so that you can learn what opportunities exist for you. And Amanda's jumping in. So I didn't let David talk. I was just going. You're muted. That's the meme of 2020 so far, is when people try to talk, they're always muted. And somehow I challenge any one of you to go ahead and make a meme that allows for that. So 2 questions. David can't unmute himself. That's a question. How not? Well, why not? Did you? Oh, yeah, I don't know. I've got to find you on the list here. There you go. And so Cole asked that, is everyone going to be tested? Will those tests be mailed out, or will we be going somewhere to do that? And the answer to Cole's question is, you will test when you get here. Right now, you will get a move-in assignment from us via email. And when you get your move-in assignment, you'll come to the campus. You will be swabbed. It's not a nasal, it's not the brain swab. It's just a regular nasal swab. They will swab you properly. They will send that off to a lab, and you will be tested. And then if your test comes back negative, you'll be allowed to move in that evening. So there's a bit of a delay, and we're going to send out information on what all that means later on. And of course, when we have our housing session in the future, you can see that. All right, David, I think you're now unmuted.
Oh, I just want to say hi. I mean, I didn't really have a whole lot to say. You just put me on the spot. I was like, oh no, I'm muted. I just want to say hi and welcome. Also, I will be, you'll notice that in the chat, both on Facebook and here on Zoom, I'll be continually putting the attendance survey in there. That's because as people join, they don't get the first part of the chat. So I'll keep putting that in there about every maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. So sorry about that if it's clogging up the chat thing. That's all I have for right now. We do have another question there, Dr. Huber, about what day we're getting tested. She said you were freezing up a little bit, so she couldn't understand you. That's Larissa.
Okay, so testing will be on move-in day. So whatever your assigned move-in day, that's when you will be tested. And essentially, I'll re-explain it. In the morning, you'll come in and you'll get swabbed. We'll send that off to a lab. By the evening, we'll have the results of your test. If your test comes back negative, you'll be able to move in. If it comes back positive, you'll have to wait. Yeah. Anything else for the intro to orientation, Dr. Goodwin?
No, I think that covers pretty much everything. It's, again, just welcome everybody. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We know that you're looking forward to knowing all this information and getting ready for August and preparing for all that. And that's what we're going to be attempting to do for you guys right now. Another question came about activities we'll be doing after move-in. We're still working on that. Part of that is going to be the camp, and those activities are going to be varied around the appropriate social interactions that we're allowed to have in the time. But they're all geared around the idea of getting you ready for the semester. So there'll be a mixture of probably some academic support services times where we get to meet these people that you're talking with today, and other times throughout the next month And then also working with us and other current students, the Mountaineer mentors, to make sure that we're able to meet everyone that's on here in person and the rest of the freshman class, and make sure that you're ready for the semester as far as knowing people. And that's going to include a lot of different variations as far as activities go.
Okay. We also had a question on Facebook real quick, you guys, from Julia. She wanted to know, how long will you have to wait if you are positive on that COVID-19 test?
That'll be in consultation with our health clinic. It depends. So there'll be a number of factors, but typically it's about 2 weeks.
All right.
Good question.
Really
good. So someone sent me a question. Will any assignments be due before we start school? No, that shouldn't happen because none of your faculty will have been able to send assignments to you. And so classes don't begin until that first day. And so you shouldn't have any assignments due before then. In the past, we have given out a book and we've asked students to read that. We don't have that this year. So you guys are getting a pass on that. But yeah, to my knowledge, there's nothing that we would assign ahead of time, correct? Dr. Goodwin? Right, okay. So, and it's still gonna be one person in a dorm. That is incorrect. There are gonna be close to 100 people in a dorm, one person in a room. I'm just messing with you, the semantics. I knew exactly what you meant, Miguel. Yes, everybody gets their own dorm room and you will share a bathroom with your suite mate. So that's the assignments for housing. So in order to facilitate social distancing, only freshmen will be in the residence halls. And for this year only, the sophomores will have moved up to the apartments. Next year, you may be asked to stay in your residence hall and you may get a roommate. But for this year, you have your own room. And time on move-in day, Larissa asked that. You will move in when you're positive or when your negative COVID test is received by us. We will send you a text message and it will be after 6 p.m. on the assigned day. You will test, you will get swabbed that morning, and then you will move in that evening. You'll have to wait all day. Luckily we got it down to where you don't have to wait the 48 hours. We've got the rapid test, but they're in San Antonio, so we have to drive them over and then drive them back. So there is a bit of a delay, but that's the process right now for move-in. That may change if we can find a faster test. We don't want to make people wait, but at this moment right now, the testing that we have is about an 8-hour turnaround. Well, a little less than 8 hours. All right, and so the move-in dates are the same for everyone, depending on your hall. Has no bearing on really the freshman residence halls. You'll move in August 6th and 7th. If you are a returning student or a transfer student and you're going to live in the apartments, then you will move in on the 10th and 11th. All right. Cole asked the question, are masks required in classrooms? If not, can we still wear a mask if we would like to? To my knowledge right now, masks are required anytime you're in public. So it depends on the designated public spaces. So all public spaces on campus and classrooms are considered public. The spaces that are not considered public would be your residence hall, your room, of course, within your residence hall. And then we're also designating each floor of a residence hall. So you don't have to wear a mask on that floor when you're moving around the residence hall. But we encourage it when you leave your room, especially if you're going to gather within those halls and study rooms or anything on that floor, to wear those, but you don't have to. So if you walk down to grab your laundry real quick and walk back, you won't have to have a mask on. But if you go outside the residence hall and you do anything, you'll have to have a mask on. Of course, there's other areas in which you won't have to wear a mask. Those will be dictated by NCAA or varying governing bodies' recommendations on, while you're playing volleyball, you probably be able to take your mask off. We'll also do temperature checks and things like that throughout the day because we're trying to keep everyone safe. All right. I know it's so the intro may be done. I turn it over to Matt, and maybe introduce our special guest who is here with us, and I will unmute her. And I think I've given you the ability, Amanda, to share your screen. This is Miss Amanda Thomson, and I'm trying to unmute you. It says I did. Oh, there you go.
There it is.
Sure.
Hi, Amanda.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. So everybody, this is Amanda Thomson, an amazing person for us here at Schreiner University. She's helps a lot in the tutoring areas, and I believe you're here to talk a little bit more about a lot of the different academic support pieces too. So I'll let you kind of introduce the different areas you're going to be talking about, but definitely someone that everyone needs to know on campus.
Thank you very much. I was just looking at everybody who's here, and I've already gotten the chance to talk to several of you actually on the phone before, so that's pretty awesome. So I'm glad y'all are here, and those I haven't met yet, I'm glad you're here too. I also have a couple of the students that actually work over in my center that are also going to join us, and they're going to talk a little bit as well, so you can hear from a student perspective. But basically, I'm Amanda Thomson. I'm over in our Center for Teaching and Learning, and I do all of our academic support services. So I coordinate all of that kind of stuff. And so what does that mean? Like what is all of that stuff? So I did put together a couple of slides so you can look at that. So I'll try to share my screen here. Give me 1 second. And then let's see. Okay, can y'all see that? Okay, can I put it onto there? Does that work? Okay, awesome. So, so kind of our basic, like I guess our mantra is we're here to help you keep your ship together, right? So if you keep your ship together, you don't have to get your ship together later, right? So that's what we're there to do. So over in the Center for Teaching and Learning, we have a lot of services that are ready to help you in your academics and all the way around. So some of the services that we have over there, they include our supplemental instruction, writing center, tutoring, both our professional tutoring and peer tutoring, and then we do a lot of support for our athletic teams as well. So we're going to tell you a little bit about each of these services and what they mean to you, especially with you coming on campus and being brand new to Schreiner. It's important that you know what each of these are and how they benefit you. I do want you to know that all of these services are available to all students on our campus, and they are always free of charge or prepaid with your tuition dollars, however you want to look at it. And it can really have a direct impact on your success at the university, in the classroom, and beyond the classroom. So I'd like to start. I wonder if Giselle, I don't know, Dr. Huber, can you unmute Giselle and if Camden is here, because they were both going to join me to kind of tell about some areas that they work with. So if you can find those. So let me start with supplemental instruction, because I think it's really important to talk with you all about, especially most of you being freshmen coming in. Supplemental instruction is a program that we have that targets our high-risk courses, which most of you will be in at least one high-risk course. High-risk courses include college algebra, history, 1301 or 1302, the American history, chemistry, anatomy and physiology. So those are some of them that are there. Those courses are courses that traditionally are difficult courses. So we call them high risk. And what we do is we put a person in that classroom with you that has already taken that class and done well in it. And then they hold study sessions twice a week in order to help you engage with some study strategies that'll help you be successful in the course. So it's tailored to that course with that instructor. And so I'll tell you with our supplemental instruction, it's a nationwide program, and with that program on campus as well as in the nation, if you go to supplemental instruction consistently, so we'd say consistently throughout the week, not just like the day before an exam or something, but maybe 6 or more times throughout the semester consistently, half letter grade to a full letter grade higher at least in that course, at least. So really important thing for our freshmen to get. I know a lot of the athletic teams, if you're on an athletic team at all, a lot of those coaches will highly encourage you to go to that as well, to make sure that you are doing everything you can to be successful in those courses. So we also have it for stuff like organic chemistry. That's like a sophomore level course that you might have. And I was going to let Camden talk a little bit about that, but I'll have him do that with tutoring as well. And I think he's in the waiting room right now. He said Dr. Huber, so I don't know.
Yeah, he is.
He is? Okay, awesome. So I'll let Camden talk a little bit about supplemental instruction. He's been a supplemental instruction leader for us and also attended supplemental instruction when he was in those courses. Did he make it on?
Yeah, I've unmuted him.
You unmuted him. All right. Where's Camden? Can you hear us, Camden?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you now. Am I not showing up?
I don't know.
Let me fix it.
I'll let you. Do I stop sharing for him to show up? I don't know. This
No, I'm here. Okay, here we go.
There it is.
There's a delay.
Oh, okay. All right, so there's Camden. So I'll let him tell you a little bit about supplemental instruction and his experience being a supplemental instruction leader. And then maybe you can also tell him a little bit about the tutoring since you've also worked in that area as well.
For sure. So supplemental instruction is kind of like a facilitated learning, like tutoring session. So it's not quite one-on-one. What it is we have a student who's already taken the class, performed well in the class, is going to sit in on that class now. They've already kind of developed a relationship with the professor. And so they sit in the class at least twice a week to see the lesson plan. And it's not necessarily to be refamiliarized with the information, but more to be present and kind of do some self-marketing for their supplemental instruction session. And then usually twice a week for about an hour, they're going to run a facilitated tutoring session with whatever students feel obligated to come. It's not required or anything like that, but it usually does help. A lot of times we do good test reviews and stuff like that, but really we just kind of refamiliarize the students with their information that they're currently going over in class. So we won't go over any new information or anything like that, but it's more just re-familiarizing and going over what's going on in class, which is similar, but not quite the peer tutoring that we offer. So with the peer tutoring, that can be really anything. We have tutors sitting in the tutoring center. They have designated hours that we have posted on Canvas that we hand out schedules for during tent events out in front of the diner. And so what that is, it's a lot more informal where our tutors are sitting in there and anybody can just come in without making an appointment and just kind of pop in. And if you have one question over one specific problem on a homework assignment, you can come in and get help with that. Or if you just need a full-on one-on-one tutoring session where somebody has to just break down everything for you, then you can come in for that. And then if you want to come in with a small group of people or a large group, we really try to be open to whatever kind of comes through the door in the tutoring center. And so it's a lot more versatile in that sense where it's very informal, but we still offer as much help as possible in that kind of informal setting.
Awesome. Thank you. And then I was going to let Yasel talk about our writing center a little bit. Yasel's one of our writing center tutors, and she joined the writing center. Is this your second year with us?
Yes, second year.
Yes. And so in our writing center, it's a writing and communication center. So it's not just for, like English papers. This is for all of your writing. I mean, if you're doing an application or a resume, I know Yasel helped with a bunch of resumes at the end of last semester as well. Maybe you're doing a lab report or you're doing a presentation for any one of your classes or communication. We'll help with your PowerPoints, any of those types of things. It's always good to have somebody looking over your stuff and helping to elevate that. You're going to be doing more writing than you ever thought possible when you get here. There's so much more writing than you probably expect. And you're probably going to be writing most of it in APA format, which unless you, most of you were probably taught MLA format. And so unless you're going to be an English teacher, Dr. Woods, I see you, you're probably not going to write in MLA anymore, but that's okay. We can help you. Yasel's here. She knows everything you need to know. So I'll let you talk about the writing center a little, Yasel.
Okay, so thank you, Ms. Thompson, for introducing us. Thank you, Brandon, for what you said about the tutoring center and the SI. But yeah, the writing center, we are more than just writing, like Ms. Thompson said. I've helped a lot of people with resumes, applications for certain internships that they want to go on. I've helped with speeches. So like as a first year student coming in, some degree plans, you have to take like a communications class. And a lot of walk-ins, I had a lot of walk-ins the first semester asking if the Writing Center could help with developing speeches. And yeah, I was there, I offered help because a lot of students just think, oh, Writing Center, just essays. No, we're more than that. We're not just essays, you know. We're there to help others with speeches, if anything that you need. If you want to run something by it, talk out loud, we're definitely there for more than just writing essays and papers. I enjoy working at the Writing Center. I know a lot of students at first, they're a little shy because they don't know what to expect. It's something new that not a lot of people offer, not a lot of colleges offer, I believe. But they go in there very welcoming. You're like, hi, how can we help? What's up? What can I do for you? And you know, right off the bat, they'll tell us like, oh, I want you to read over this, or I would like to see if this sounds okay. How can you help me develop this more? I want to develop this more. And yeah, we sit down with them, talk about it, have them read it out loud. If they have any questions, we go through formats, we go through a lot of ideas, we do a lot of brainstorming, a lot of one-on-one interaction with them. So it's pretty cool.
Thank you. The other thing that you'll know is that with the Writing Center, we allow you to do walk-ins or also make appointments. And there's going to be we'll explain as it gets closer when you get into that camp time, how you make appointments, how you access everything. We'll show you how to do that. So don't worry, you'll know where it's at. You're going to see us. Like, we are not shy. We are around on campus all over the place, right? Like, we'll be out underneath a tent telling you what's happening. And we are going to try to tell you, because the most successful students are the ones that utilize the services. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again just for another second here. So y'all can see a couple other things that we have going on. I go to the next slide. A couple of additional resources that we have on campus that we've introduced in the last year. Sometimes you have some stuff that's not like a specific class. When you come onto campus, there's a lot of new adjustments that you're going to be making. You're going to be, you know, living maybe away from your home for the first time. So you have to balance like getting your laundry done and making sure that you wake up for classes. And, oh yeah, I gotta actually make sure that I eat something sometimes. Like, there's a lot of different things that you're going to be adjusting to. And sometimes it's not, like I said, content specific. So we have these two programs. One is called PASS. It's our peer academic success specialists. And they are there to really just help you improve your study skills and strategies, or help you like assess what's happening. You know, like, man, I'm not feeling like I'm being as successful as I want to be, or I gotta change something, or everything's falling apart. I don't know. They can do that for you. They can work with you on that, and that's a one-on-one thing. And it's good to have other peers that can kind of give you some insight into some things that might help, as they've already been through it. They can also provide that accountability. Sometimes you just need to be like, oh, I've got an appointment with somebody and I got to have this done before I get there. So that kind of helps with that accountability. We also have some staff members that are on campus that also serve as academic success coaches. And so they have kind of another layer of training where they can really help you with some goal setting, making some plans, develop post-graduation plans when you get there, making sure that they help with some time management, any of those kind of things. So those are some additional resources that we have available that we can help you with as well. So let's see. Just a couple more things about it so that you know what's happening. So a lot of times when people come on campus as a freshman, they're always like, well, you know, I don't need tutoring. I didn't, you know, because in high school, when you look for tutoring, it's usually when you're already struggling, right? Like, you're already struggling. And when you get to college, it's kind of a different sort of a deal. Like, you go into academic support because you want to be the person that's not struggling, or if you are struggling, you want to be able to have somebody and some resources. So last year we had over 6,000 visits to one of our services. So that's quite a few visits on campus. So you know that it's not just people that are struggling that are coming in. So we want to encourage you. Close to 60% of our student body utilize at least one of our services. So everybody is over there. It's welcome. There's not a, oh, if you're going to this tutoring center, you're not doing well in these classes. We also have like 95% overall satisfaction rating. That means people give us a 4 or 5 star because we want to be able to help. And in addition to that, you're also going to see us on campus trying to do some other fun things with soft skills, like setting goals. You can see these people in these pictures. They were setting some goals out in our commons area. And so just the idea of setting goals and being there and trying to hold you accountable for these goals, or maybe we're giving you some study trips and you're spinning the wheel to win prizes. So we're going to be around on campus doing those things in order to help you be successful as we can. Let's see. I'll let Sal, Camden, is there anything else that you think that we should share with them, that they should know about our services?
I think the big thing to highlight, kind of about what Ms. Thompson just kind of ended there, was that tutoring is not for once you already started struggling. And I know there's kind of this stigma when you're coming into college and, oh, I've never done tutoring and I don't need tutoring because I'm a good student. That's not what it's about. Once you get here, once you get to college, really the students that do succeed and the students that want to succeed, and instead of making an 89, want to make a 95, or so be it, are the ones that are using the tutoring services. It's not just for students who are trying to pass or are really, really struggling. It's not something that's going to be mandated by a professor. It's something that when you decide that you want to kind of take that next step to being a better student, you can use our services. I know it kind of took me a while when I came in, when I heard, oh, use the tutoring center. You have this mindset coming in that tutoring is for people who need it. But I was lucky enough to have Miss Thompson as my freshman seminar teacher for IDST 1301. And so I was pretty much forced to come and visit every once in a while for some class assignments. And I really got to see and understand the full scope of what the services for the Peer Tutoring Center offered. And so after that whole second semester freshman year, I used the Writing Center probably weekly. Got really familiar with the place over there. And then when the chance came to be able to work there and help other students, I kind of jumped on that. And so there's just really, really a lot of opportunities to be had and to kind of indulge in with the Tutoring Center, whether it's writing or subject-based or even with the past and just being study skills. And so really, really, if I could recommend anything, is just don't be afraid to just kind of dive into it and give it a shot, and just kind of see where it takes you.
There was a question from our Facebook feed that David shared. Claudia Stewart, Luna asked, can a student in the LSS program also use academic success coaching, or is this built into the program?
Okay, so good question. So absolutely, you can utilize any of our services in academic support, even if you're part of the LSS program. You will likely have some stuff in LSS that might have maybe some, we call like executive functioning or tutoring. There could be all kinds of tutors that you have in there, but you are also welcome to utilize these services. We work a lot to come alongside our LSS services as well. In fact, we're in the same building. And so I work a lot with Dr. Gallick and some of the other people. And actually, when I first worked at Schreiner, I actually started working in LSS. And so a long time ago. So definitely, those are open to everybody. And I also wanted to touch for just a second about our athletic teams as well. In the past, we've done some stuff like your study halls and things like that have been associated with us over there. So if you're part of an athletic team, know that I work really closely with those coaches to make sure that we provide the academic support that they need specifically for our athletes and specifically for those teams. Sometimes you come in and if you're in a fall sport, you come in and you're in your season right away. So you have some different needs than say somebody who's a winter sport, right? That you come in and you're like, oh, I'm at this part of my semester and I've already transitioned into college life, but now I have to figure out how this is going. And then there's some sports that have a season that's like all the way from the fall to the spring. And so I really work, and I'm working right now in kind of the changes with all the COVID-19 stuff with our coaches to really see what's the best way to accommodate and come alongside each of those teams and those athletes to make sure that you do well. Because we all know that if you're not doing well in the classroom, you're not going to do well on the court, and vice versa. It's a holistic thing, and I really believe that. So so know that we'll be working on that as well. And Yasel, did you want to say? I know you had you were going to say something else before too.
Yes, similar to what Camden said about being there to help each other, we definitely are there to help each other and help all the students. Another reason, the same reason why I got into the academic support system was because I wanted to help others. I was my freshman year, I would always go to the writing center like almost every other week or so. I enjoyed it. I really loved it. The writing tutors there were really, really helpful, so much that I ended up joining them, you know, becoming one of them. So if you have any questions or any doubts about it, definitely come in, ask us a question, ask us anything. Like Ms. Thompson said, we're not shy people. You'll definitely see us around campus or just hanging out. You can definitely come up to us, ask us about it, ask more information. We have an open door. We're there to help. And that's what I like about what Ms. Thompson has going on. We're always there to help and we're very helpful. So.
And I'll tell you, I use the writing center all the time as well. I know you guys use the other services. Like when Camden was a sophomore, he was running an SI session for one subject and he was going to an SI session for a different subject at the same time. And I use the writing center every time I have to send out an all faculty email. Man, those are so terrifying because somebody's going to do reply all and do all kinds of stuff to embarrass you if you mess up. So first thing I do when I have to do it is I run down and I'm like, hey, two writing center people, can you come read this and make sure I don't have any errors in here? And the one time you don't have them read it is the time it's going to go out, and you know you're going to get all of that. And everybody likes to tease you when it comes back, especially if you're in charge of the writing center and you have a mistake in your documents. So we utilize those all the time. What kind of questions do you guys have? Or what are you excited about or most nervous about? Do you feel prepared for your academics? I'd love to hear from some of you guys.
So there have been several questions, not necessarily pertaining to the writing center, that I've been answering individually as people send them in about travel, of course, housing, those types of questions. If anybody does have a question, we do have a few minutes. Type it into the box, or you can unmute yourself and jump in. I think I figured out how to allow people to unmute themselves, and we can hear your wonderful voice.
Yes, talk to us. We'd love to hear you. It's been so boring on campus without everybody here. Hi, Larissa. Yes, we're going to have the ACE Learning Community. Yep, you're in here. I think I saw Jasmine was in here too. Was Gio in here? Maybe Cole? I don't know. I saw several of you. So yes, we're still having it. So that's a different chat. She just sent me a chat, but I wanted to tell everybody. I'm also in charge of the ACE Learning Community, so you'll see me there as well. What are you all most excited about for getting onto campus?
Really being able to get onto campus.
Getting onto campus, right? Yeah. How many of you is writing your favorite thing to do? I know you, Dr. Woods. That's right. That's right. Meeting new people. Oh, this is so exciting.
Well, so
I'm watching the chat.
Yeah, Grayson said he's excited to be joining Schreiner. He's a non-trad coming back to school after 20 years.
Oh, yay, non-trad.
We do have
That's hard, I
information
know.
about veteran services, Grayson. Email me at DOS and I'll hook you up with Shannon, who's in charge of that. Hanover wants to know how to get in Dr. Wood's class. You can't. It's full. It fills up 3 years in advance. And afterwards, people just don't want to be in there. So you never want to take his class. He's the worst. He's absolutely the worst professor. So just stay away from him. He's mean too.
As they always say to me, Dean Hubert, dude, I thought you were cool. I try to be cool.
I get the opposite. Dude, I thought you were gonna be cool, but you're not. Oh no, you were way cooler than I thought you were. Okay, so I'm excited to move in and meet new people. Cole's excited about the dining plan.
Right.
Until you get there. And then making new friends is a good one. Meeting new people starting school in a classroom. I know many of you, it's been an unusual senior year for folks, and having to do your last semester of high school the last part of your last semester of high school virtually, and many of you didn't really have real graduation ceremonies, things like that. Meeting new people, all of those. And so, and Grayson says, oh, got it. Got you, Grayson. Grayson says, I'm okay. Running for Schreiner, period, Will, or running for Schreiner track team, or, but I'm guessing.
Will's cross country, I think.
Cross country.
Yeah, cross country.
Tyler's excited to set up the room. Definitely excited to get in the gym and lift, of course. And somebody asked if we could talk about the dining plan. So what'll happen is you'll have a regular meal plan. We'll have 3 options for you. It is what we're exploring. We're trying to figure out how all that's going to work. We have essentially a buffet style, which is our normal dining hall. You'll also be able to use your meal swipes in the Lion's Den. So Camden and ESL, maybe they're unfamiliar with this because this is new. And we'll have a food truck in which you'll be able to use meal swipes at. So you'll be able to eat. Now, I don't think the meal truck will be open for breakfast, but it should be open for lunch and dinner. And so you'll be able to go, and we may move the meal truck somewhere centrally on campus for lunch and then put it over at the Trailhead Beer Garden for dinner. And there will be more than beer there. So if you want to go over there, you'll have to buy coffee or spend real dollars at the beer garden, but they'll have kombucha and other various drinks outside of beer, or you can purchase beer. But you'll be able to use your meal plan at the truck during dinner. You just can't use your meal plan in the beer garden because that's a separate business. And so you'll have those 3 options to eat. There's also a Pause and Go that you can load money onto your account. We call them Money Bucks. And the Pause and Go is a convenience store located over in the Oaks Apartments. And if late at night you want to go and buy a snack, you can go over there and buy a snack with your Money Bucks. The GPA requirement while attending Schreiner is 2.0. That's and so you're considered in good standing if you have a higher than a 2.0. Am I hitting that right? In Dr. Woods?
Yes.
There you go. Any other questions, thoughts from the group?
You're getting some dorm questions. I don't know if you want to jump in on mini fridges, microwaves, electric stovetops, or is that a whole nother topic?
Yeah, we can. I mean, I'll answer all of the questions. In your room, you're going to want a microwave and a mini fridge. You're just going to want that. Everybody does. And so I would suggest that get a small one. You don't need a huge one. You really shouldn't eat a lot in your room because you've got a meal plan. It's just a waste of money if you only ever eat in your room. But as our students on the call can attest, it is convenient to occasionally pop in a little, microwave pizza or heat up leftovers or however. So it's kind of nice to have that. And because you don't have a roommate, you can't depend on someone else to bring that unless you want to go over to your suite mate's room and use their microwave. So having a small microwave and a small refrigerator in your space is pretty solid. Somebody asked about dual credit. If they have college credits from a dual credit program, will they transfer? I know some may not. It depends. And I think dual credit, depending on how it scores, our registrar would be the person to answer specific questions, and you should get an evaluation of your transcript, and you should know what transfers and what doesn't. When you get your advising sessions scheduled with your advisor, that would be a good time to ask your faculty advisor. And there may be, it may be people on this call that schedule with you, because it won't just be faculty. I think we're going to have some staff help register freshmen for classes, those things. And yes, yes, stovetops are definitely not allowed. Anything with an exposed heating element. Candle burners, all of those things. The resident assistants, and Camden can tell you all about that, will come through and tell you you're not supposed to have those. What type of traditions do y'all have, and how will they be conducted due to COVID? This was an online question. I'm going to let Dr. Goodwin, our expert on campus traditions, answer that question.
We have a lot. How they are expected due to COVID, we're still working through that, right? As every day is a little bit different, but the most recent one coming up is going to be the Mountaineer Camp, where we traditionally in the past been able to divide out the freshman class into 2 tribes. Murray and Moody, and they get to compete in fun, interactive ways through about a week of activities, leading up into a chant off that's practiced and learned throughout the week. And then the winners of the chants watch as the other tribe gets to pour paint and glitter over the tribal leaders, which happen to be myself, David Girls, and the student leaders, part of the mentor group that are the leaders of those tribes. So that's the most recent one coming up. We do have the Ancient Honorable Order of the campus, made up of 12 students who host different activities throughout the year, depending upon certain things. Recall is a big event for us. Our ring ceremony is another big traditional event where we get to have our Schreiner ring ceremony during that recall event. A lot of new things coming up. We have our centennial celebration just right around the corner. So we'll be helping us and working with that and incorporating that. A lot wrapped around athletics just in general, supporting our athletic and different events on campus. Maroon Mondays is a big tradition. Wear maroon on Mondays, right? There they are.
Right, gotta wear maroon on Mondays.
That's right. And so that everyone gets a what we call spirit shirt incoming. So we'll have that ready for you. So you already have your maroon shirt, so there's no excuses. Another tradition, but currently only 3 of us actively participate in actually wearing of the kilts. But Kilt Friday is another tradition that we've started most recently with the Tartan Schreiner University. Designs, thanks of Mr. David Girls right there. Let him talk a little bit more about the pattern itself. But the Kilt Friday, you'll see us wearing kilts on campus, and anybody's welcome to join in on that. And we have a lot of merchandise now in the books, or in the Schreiner Outfitters bookstore, that you can jump in on wearing some of our tartan pattern for the university. So those are a few things. David, do you want to real quick talk about the our tartan pattern?
Sure, I can do that. Let me grab my hat. I don't want everybody to think that Matt's the only one with a cool hat, right? So the tartan pattern there, what's significant about the tartan is we're affiliated with Presbyterian Church, which finds its roots in Scotland. And so the pattern that we have here is registered with Scotland. So there are white stripes, black stripes, and maroon stripes inside the tartan pattern. And those stripes stand for, there's 1 stripe of white, and then there's 9 stripes of white, right? And then and 23 stripes of white. That all stands for, or 23 stripes of black, which stands for 1923, the year of our university's founding. And then there are the maroon stripes. There's 95 of those because the tartan was designed in the 95th year of the university. And then it's followed by another maroon 95 stripes for 95 more years of future prosperity and good years to come for you guys. So that's the tartan kind of in a nutshell real quick. Yeah. I know we're having a lot of questions pop up here, you guys. I'm trying to roll back up to the top of those. Also, don't forget, if you do have to, it's getting close to our time. So if you have to leave to go to work or to dinner or something like that, please don't forget to fill out the attendance survey so we can find out who attended today and make sure that all of our incoming freshmen and current students get the information that they need.
Hey, David, I'm wondering, do you think you can send me that list of people that go ahead and fill out that survey for you, and maybe I could put them into a drawing for a gift card?
I think that sounds fine. You know,
I
think it's a good idea. Yeah. So let's give out some free stuff, right? So yeah, if you fill out that survey, make sure you fill that out. It's only like 4 questions, guys. It's really fast. Fill that out for us. It's basically demographics and which section you came to today. So it's the June 15th one. And then there's also a space for questions. So if we didn't get to your questions today, or if you have some other concerns that you maybe not have wanted to voice here online in front of everyone, go ahead and put those in that comment section as well. And then we'll do a drawing for you guys and let you know who the winner is I'll determine when we decide when we're going to do that. So hopefully we'll have that information by the next show, which is going to be on Wednesday at 4 p.m. We'll be talking about athletics and purposeful lives.
I also put my email into the chat for everybody. It's A.M. Thompson, Thomson. Well, I put an extra S in there. Apparently I can't spell my own name. I should probably have somebody from the Writing Center check that out. But it's A.M. Thompson at Schreiner.edu. You can look me up, send me any questions you have. And also, when you first get on campus, we have these really cool things I'm going to show you. Remember, we want you to keep your chip together. We have these little phone wallets. So if you come and see me, let me know that you saw me during the orientation. I have one of these for you. Just keep your little student ID right in the back of your phone case, credit card, whatever, because you're going to need the ID everywhere. Plus, I'd love to meet you in person and say hello, because I really, really miss students. I really hate being at home on the computer all the time.
Yes.
Like, hate it. Yes. I can't wait to see you guys.
All right. Do you guys want to field a few more questions real quick? We have a lot there.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to go through them. Sorry. Cole asked if we had a Disney college program. Well, we work with Disney and of course, Disney internships. We don't have a specific program, but we have had students in the past do that. David Reist, I told some people he'll be on with us in 2 weeks. And when he's here, you can definitely ask all of the how to apply for jobs. Each job's different. A lot of work study questions have popped up. And I think one of the things with work study positions, every department hires on a different schedule. So it's individual hiring for the departments. But there's a job board that we have that's online that you can get to through our website, and you can see all the different job postings there. And then, as you get here, you just form a network. And if you know people, you kind of, one of the benefits of being a small school, you talk to someone and say, hey, I want a work study job, and we'll help you. So there was that one. I think I answered a lot of the other ones.
There was one question that they had asked for the students, things that they should do in their freshman year. And I wondered if our students, because Camden, of course, has just graduated, and then Yusel is in her second year. There's things that you guys would say they should definitely do during their freshman year?
Yeah, Yusel, if you don't mind, I'm going to go first because I actually have to hop on another Zoom group meeting here in a second. But things to do in your freshman year. I mean, I know it's going to be kind of a different setting with camp and summer orientation, obviously being online now and everything being a little different. But at least, I guess, the first 4 weeks, just buy in. Just be very, very intentional with everything that you do. This doesn't mean you have to go to every single event and you have to try to be friends with everybody, but just kind of buy in to Schreiner life. Just right from the beginning, just kind of get involved, find your niche, and just kind of see what works for you and try different things that you may necessarily not have tried before. But just don't, I know it's especially hard with student athletes and just kind of being in that circle and seeing it with my own eyes of just thinking that you're too cool for something. And and not in a rude way, but you're really not. You're not too cool to get involved on campus. You're not too cool to go to an event that maybe some of your other athlete friends are not going to. So don't let that kind of stuff get in your way and cloud your judgment. Just, like I said, buy in, get involved, find what makes you happy, and just kind of go from there.
Taking out from what Camden said, definitely be confident. You've made it this far. You've made a choice, and you're going to finish it. No matter what happens, things are going to get rough. Things are going to get tough. You're going to get through it. We're going to be there to help you. Like I've said and mentioned, we're very helpful. Definitely pop in and ask anybody a question, not just the Writing Center. We have a lot of professors and a lot of students that are very, very helpful. Be confident. Don't be scared. Yes, it's nerve-wracking. It's nervous. You're anxious. Everyone's going to be like, oh, something new, especially with everything that's happening. But remember that you're not going to be alone. We're all going to be there. What is it? Make friends. Definitely. That's a big thing that I learned my freshman year. Definitely make some friends, because the friendships will definitely last a long time. Don't be afraid to ask questions either. I know as a freshman, I was very shy and not outgoing. I was always just stuck in my room sometimes. Occasionally, I would open the door to see what's happening. But definitely take that next step to step up and say, oh, like who wants to, I don't know, do something, who wants to have like a Netflix party on the laptop. I know SAB had done that over when the whole pandemic was happening. That's a pretty cool thing to do. So definitely don't be afraid. Be bold.
Awesome. Well, I think we're going to use the be bold to kind of end us. That's a great way to stop. I know we have a few questions we might not have gotten to, but please include those in the survey. We'll also be going back and rewatching these, and just in case we missed anything, we'll be reaching out to everybody. The best way for us to be able to know the question came from you, it would be if it's in this post or if it's through the surveys. Please take advantage of that so we can get the answers out to you guys. Thank you. We appreciate you guys jumping on with us today. We'll be back on Wednesday. It is an athletic kind of focus in the beginning. There will be purposeful lives, but just like today, we're here to answer questions. So please try to make as many as you can. Until next time, guys, have a good next couple of days. We'll see you Wednesday. Thank you.